Dear colleagues, dear friends from the Romualda Del Bianco Foundation, we are a team from Ivanovo State University, the city of Ivanovo, Russia. We are 6 online today, but our team is bigger, is larger. We have a photographer, we have a designer who helped to make posters. And in fact, we are many more. We are many more, I mean, those who share the foundation's ideas and foundation's philosophy of the cultural heritage conservation. To begin with, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the festival organizers for the opportunity to be a part of this magnificent event, the first festival of world's cultural expressions. Be sure it is a great honor for us. We are happy to work hand in hand with the foundation for almost 20 years, as Simona has just mentioned. And we carry out various projects. And I'm absolutely sure that this one will leave very fond memories because it lets the festival participants meet each other despite distances. It lets the participants share knowledge, learn new things about countries, nations, and cultures. And undoubtedly, it contributes to mutual understanding in the world. And now I will give the floor to our students and our colleagues, and they will present Ivanovo region, our homeland that we love and admire.
The Russian or Red Manchester, the city of Calico Kings, the birthplace of the first Soviets, an exemplary socialist city, the city of brides, the city of youth. These are just a few epithets once awarded to Ivanovo, a wonderful city to the northeast of Moscow in central Russia. Despite being one of the smallest in the country, Ivanovo region resembles a treasure chest of Russia. It has everything in it. Towns of the world-known Golden Ring of Russia, famous Ivanovo chintz, far-famed Pelek lacquer boxes, picturesque plots on the Volga River. Each city, provincial town, or small settlement in the rural area has its own myth or is associated with something meaningful to the Russian soul. Each one is peculiar and worth visiting. Step by step, all of them retrieve their historical memory and increase tourist popularity. Over a dozen of folk arts and crafts are still found in the region to form the mainstay of ethnographic interest and make up the supply of authentic souvenirs. The region occupies one of the leading positions in central Russia in the development of handicraft industry. It is famous for its pattern weaving, hand painting of fabrics, hand embroidery, needlework, jewelry, shoe squeeze boxes, and, of course, Ivanovo printed cottons and Russian flags, of which local designers make inimitable fashionable clothes, with original interpretation of Russian national traditions. Rich cultural and historical heritage and natural resources make it possible to develop cultural, pilgrimage, wellness, cruise, sports, agro, and ecotourism. Immersion travel that focuses on experiencing a particular place by connecting to its history, culture, people, and food is one of the major market trends in modern regional tourism industry. Ivanovo is included in the world-known tourist route, the Golden Ring of Russia. After over 50 years of its existence, it has not lost its popularity. Traveling to the towns of the Golden Ring is the best way to try and find out the traits of the mysterious Russian soul, to learn the most important moments of the Russian history, and to feel the lifestyle of the Russian province. Ivanovo has always been known as textile capital of Russia, Russian or Red Manchester. It is a place where one can trace back the history of flax and cotton cloth production. It is here that the first Russian cotton printing manufacturers appeared in the late 17th century. In the Soviet times, Ivanovo became the center of a huge industrial region with a territory bigger than Belgium and Holland altogether. 49% of cotton fabric and 77% of linen fabric were produced here. Ivanovo was called the third proletarian capital of the Soviet Union, after Moscow and St. Petersburg. The main employees of the textile industry have always been women. Ivanovo, thanks to some journalists' good grace, started to be called a city of brides. Until recently, the female population was several times as big as male. Today, the correlation is almost equal. International textile salons and annual Russian fashion festival Plus on the Volga are getting more and more popular and attract both world-famous and young designers from different countries.
Ivanovo is a conservancy area for the best samples of the 1930s architecture, known as avant-garde, with its well-preserved monuments of avant-garde architecture. Ivanovo is a real paradise for lovers of constructivism. There are several house metaphors in the city. Our guests can get aboard the ship house or look from above at the birdhouse with outspread wings. They can see the bullet house or try their luck touching the horseshoe house. Industrial architecture is also worth mentioning. Several textile factories of pre-revolutionary times are still kept almost in pristine condition. Nearly all the churches and cathedrals in Ivanovo were destroyed in the Soviet times. Only a few were preserved as architectural monuments. Some of them date back to the 19th century. They have been restored to their original form and now function on a regular basis. Ivanovo is a large cultural center of the region. There are a lot of museums in Ivanovo, such as Industry and Art Museum named after Dmitry Kurilin, a textile factory owner and collector of rarities and antiquities. Museum of British Cotton is one of the most remarkable in Russia and has no analogues in the country. Fine Arts Museum, Museum of the First Soviet, and others can boast of wonderful collections.
Since olden times, various folk crafts have been flourishing in the Ivanovo region. The two main centers known all over Russia and abroad are Palikh and Holy. In Holy, they still keep secrets of local icon painting. Holy icon painters have always depicted serene holy faces less strictly than the canons dictate. Thus, they made the saints' faces more alive and appealing. After the October Revolution of 1917, the painters had to switch over to lacquer miniature production. In 1959, enthusiasts initiated a state museum of holy art. The current collection of 5,000 items includes lacquer boxes, ancient icons, handwritten books, and unique wooden sculptures of the 17th century. The subject matters of holy lacquer miniature are quite diverse. They are mostly based on Russian fairy tales, heroic epic songs, legends, and historical events. Another reason to visit Holy is its spring spade. In many travel guidebooks, this small settlement is often called Venice of Central Russia. After winter frosts, the Tesa River divides the settlement into two parts, and people have to use boats. At this time of the year, Holy is definitely the most peaceful and picturesque sight. Academic Palikh, a small village, enchants its visitors with calm and beauty of the central Russia landscapes. It won a worldwide glory by the unique icon painting that dates back to the 16th century. Palikh icons are unrivaled for their subtle mode of execution, with egg yolk tempera and gold used in depicting saints' raiment. Palikh artisans restored magnificent frescoes we can see today in the ancient cathedrals of Moscow Kremlin. In the Soviet times, icon painting was put under ban, and painters had to seek for some new ways to expedite their artistic skills. They created a new style of miniature painting on papier-mâché. In the 1920s, the former icon painters organized an association of ancient painting. They did not give up their usual techniques. They painted their miniatures on different objects, boxes, plates, panels, and powder cases. In 1935, a state museum of Palikh art was opened, and now it consists of 6 different museums. Today, it is one of the most impressive museums in Russia. Visitors can watch all the stages of a long process of a masterpiece birth. The most inquisitive attendees can try to fulfill some of their operations to understand what a difficult process like a miniature painting is.
Regional tourist routes include not only well-known sites of folk arts and crafts, but also monuments to Orthodox culture and places where outstanding people once lived and worked. A famous Russian poet of the Silver Age, Konstantin Balman, spent his childhood and youth in Shuya. A genius Russian artist, Isaac Levitan, deliberately came to Plos to get inspiration from nature and create his masterpieces. A prominent dramatist, Alexander Ostrovsky, had an estate near Kinishma where he liked to rest and write his plays. A distinguished singer, Fyodor Shalapin, visited and enjoyed Plos. The mother of a new novel in European literature, Natalie Sarot, was born in Ivanovo. A small town of Yurovets is the motherland of the preeminent filmmaker Andrei Tarkovsky, hailed by many as the most important director of all time. His Ivan's Childhood, Andrei Rublev, Solaris, Tucker won international acclaim and were awarded top prizes at the world film festivals. It is notable that Andrei Tarkovsky's life was connected with Italy, Florence in particular. He shot a documentary Voyage in Time while traveling in Italy. In 1983, he completed a script and shot the film Nostalgia in Florence surroundings. In order to continue and develop the traditions of a great Russian director and philosopher, Ivanovo regional government set up an annual international film festival, Zerkalo, Mirror, named after Andrei Tarkovsky. The festival found a special place in cultural life of Russia. It was attended by many renowned filmmakers from Great Britain, Greece, the US, Korea, Slovenia, Iran, Iceland, Finland, Italy, and many more. Its eventful program includes an international feature film contest, special screenings, film retrospectives, animation, and students' movies. A museum center of Andrei Tarkovsky was opened in Yurovets in 1996 in a house where Andrei used to live in his childhood. Zerkalo Festival participants laid out a garden of apple trees, symbolizing spiritual renewal of Russia. In the same year, a cultural center named after Andrei Tarkovsky was established, and a cinematography school for young people started working.
Each municipality of Ivanovo region tries to invent something unique to attract various types of tourists. Kinishma promotes its own tourist routes. Orthodox sanctuaries of Kinishma County, in the land of craftsmen, and others. In Privolzhsk, they offer a tour called The Pearl to get acquainted with the jewelry industry and attend a masterclass in jewelry making. The secrets of soap making are unveiled to tourists in Shuya. Many people enjoy event tours, such as Fish Day in Yurovets. Folk festivals are celebrated with much feasting, so that people can taste high-quality products from local farmers. The most ancient and beautiful towns are situated along the Volga River, Kinishma, Yurovets, and Plos. These unpretentious towns still keep their old merchant buildings of the 19th century. Many of them are historical and cultural monuments. So cruise tourism is getting more popular. Navigation is open during summertime. Picturesque Plos annually attracts thousands of guests. From the very first minute, visitors to Plos feel at home. Plos was often depicted in feature films as an ideal Russian provincial place, clean, cozy, modest, and trouble-free. There are a lot of museums in the town, of fine arts, of an old Russian family, of wedding, of primal hunting and fishing. They are interesting to both adults and children, as they recreate the pictures of our ancestors' everyday life. In Kinishma, they have a museum of felt boots. Some of the exhibits are listed in the Russian Book of Records. A felt boot less than a millimeter high and a huge one over 2 meters. One can see age-old woolen equipment and attend a master class in felting. Ivanovo region is abundant in places with unique ecological cleanness. There are some territories where you can drink water right from the river. Yuzha district is one of the most promising places for ecotourism development. Having lots of big and small lakes and rivers, as well as dense forests, the territory is called Middle Russian Karelia. People from far away come here to go fishing, mushrooming, and picking berries. Tourists can stay in guest houses, enjoying meals of self-made products. Ivanovo also views itself as a center of youth culture. With its 7 universities, it is a huge educational hub. The total body of students exceeds 40,000. Since the region has vast experience in organizing various festivals and contests, including international, Ivanovo can easily become a wonderful place to develop youth and students' tourism. Much has already been done in the Ivanovo region to meet the needs of domestic and inbound tourists. Still much is to be done in years to come. We hope that Ivanovo region will finally become one of the most attractive destinations on the tourist map of Russia. Thank you for your attention.